had a really random thought last night that I wanted to share. I was watching like a YouTube video, and the person filming, I don't remember who it was now, had like a glimpse of their wrist, and there was a tattoo, but it was just such a glimpse that I couldn't tell what it was. And I was like being nosy, like, I wonder what that was. And it reminded me of how I've been wanting to get one on my wrist of a cross, like right here. I'm not against tattoos or anything. I have one, but anytime since I've been wanting to do that, anytime I see somebody with one on their arm or their wrist in like this general vicinity, I'm curious to what it is because I've been wanting one. And it made me think about how when you're a kid and like you want to remember something and you write it on your hand, like read pages 80 through 85 or whatever for homework, and you get home and your parents are like, why did you write on your hand? And you're like, leave me alone. It made me think of that because there's been things that I think about throughout the day that I'm like, I need to remember this, or I need to do this more. And I was thinking, like, what if there was a tattoo ink that you could see, like on, I guess, your hand, and no one else could see? It was like invisible to everybody else but yourself. Like, what would you tattoo? Like, you're given 3 tattoos that you could put, or bullet points on your hand. What would it be? I think for me, my first would be pray, because I don't pray enough during the day. Like, I'll be like, oh, thank you, Lord, for this or that. But I don't like tell God what I need, because I always like remember the verse, I'm too reliant on He knows our needs before we know them. And I like use that not as an excuse, but in my brain as like a fallback of, well, he already knows. Like, I don't like repeating myself to anybody in general. So I'm like, I don't want to tell God what he already knows when really he wants to know, because my husband does the exact same thing to me, and I get frustrated when I'm like, why didn't you tell me this? And he's like, I didn't think you care to know. And then I do that with God. So if I could have I'm actually wanting the cross to remind me of that, but it would be helpful for the actual word reminder all day with it right where I'm gonna see. My second would be to drink more water, because ever since I quit working and started staying home with me, like when I was working at an office and sitting at a desk like this all day, I had a bottle of water right beside me and would drink it all day long, and would get up 100 times a day, mainly to get away from my desk, and a lot of the time because I was having to pee from drinking all the water. And now that I'm a stay-at-home mom and having to keep a child alive and them fed and drank, hydrated, I like forget about myself, and I'm like, I'll be like, right now I'm upstairs and my water bottle's downstairs, so that's water I'm not drinking. But I'm like lucky if I drink 2 bottles of it throughout the day, and it's like awful, but I need to drink more water. So I would be like, pray, maybe H2O, and then the third would be have grace, because everybody needs more grace. I need more grace with myself. I need more grace with other people around me. I need to remember that God has grace with me. So it'd be those 3 things and on my hand that only I could see and nobody else. Like bracelets or something that say those things to remind me to do them. But what would yours be? What would you tattoo on your hand that no one else could see but you, to remind yourself to do, or remind yourself to stop doing? Like, stop biting my nails, stop touching my face. I don't know. That was just the random thought that I had that I wanted to share here. All right. Thanks for listening.